Hi and welcome to the Wicklow County Enterprise Board, where today we're going to be speaking to CEO Sheelagh Daly, and she's going to tell us all about how they can help your business. Hi Sheelagh, thank you very much for speaking to Big Minds today. Sheelagh, really the information we just want to find out is a little bit for startups, and we're based in Wicklow, so we're going to talk about the Wicklow County Enterprise Board and what's happening at the moment for startups. Can you tell me a little bit about the County Enterprise Board, as in what it offers to local business and to startups?
Wicklow County Enterprise Board is one of 35 county and city enterprise boards. There's one in every county according to the local authority area, so there'll be 4 in Dublin, there's 1 in Wicklow. We're a state agency currently part of the Department of Enterprise, and we were established in 1993-94 specifically with the idea of stimulating entrepreneurship and supporting enterprises at local level, with a view to creating employment. So that's still very much our mission statement, is to support new people, new businesses to start up, to support existing small businesses that employ less than 10 people to be sustainable and to grow, and also to encourage entrepreneurship, which is another side of what we do working with schools and that type of thing.
Okay, you talk about stimulating entrepreneurship, and no more in the past, I think 4 or 5 years, that has it come to the headlines within the media. Everywhere you turn, people are starting new businesses. What are you noticing with the entrepreneurs that are coming through your doors? Is there a difference in them, say to 3 or 4 years ago, or is it something, what's getting them to stand out from the crowd, as in why are they going out there to start their own business?
Oh, that's a question that we could talk about for a long time. There's no such thing really as the typical startup coming through our doors. One thing that I would say that has changed, and if you like, it's not surprising as a result of the turn down in the economy. Certainly back in sort of 07, during the boom times, we would have had virtually everybody that was looking at starting a business as what would be categorized as an opportunity-based entrepreneur. So that is somebody who identifies an opportunity and is willing to take the risk to go ahead and start a business with an ambition to grow a business and make the most of that opportunity that they've seen. I suppose the change that has happened is that I would say at least 1 in 3 people now who are starting businesses are what would be considered necessity-based entrepreneurs. So they're people who are actually starting a business to create a job for themselves, either to replace a job that they've lost or due to uncertainty about the future in whatever employment they're in. So it's a different, there are, in a very broad sense, different types in that regard.
Okay. I think that's what we're seeing more of. It's a case of the need for survival now. There's so many entrepreneurs going out there with these ideas, and they're really pushing it because it's what's going to put the food on the table for them at home. It isn't so much in 2007 where there was so many opportunities and new ideas. So it's fantastic to see that difference, I guess, between the years. Because you'd be kind of thinking, I guess, who would be the person that might succeed. I'm sure both succeeded in a certain way, but the person in 2007 compared to the person today, I think maybe the entrepreneur today has a bit more leverage. Do you think
I would
so?
say that, again, there are people start businesses for lots of different reasons, and as I said, if you take the opportunity versus necessity, that's a very broad categorization. But within that, then you have people that are, if you like, the high-end entrepreneurs, people whose desire and whose drive is about creating a business that is going to grow. It's all about, for them, they want a business that's going to grow fast, that's going to employ a lot of people. They want to build wealth in the business. So, these are people who have an ambition to maybe, to actually take out an IPO within 5 years of starting their business, but realistically based as well, because you're really good entrepreneurs know they need a strong management team, know they need a really good business plan, know they need to be able to access finance, know they need to be able to persuade people to do what they want. All of those qualities, plus the perseverance, the persistence, the need to achieve, all of those things come into play. Then you'd have people that also want to build a business, and by that I mean, you know, a business that is of a certain size and is going to employ other people. But they maybe want to cut that off at a point when they've achieved the lifestyle that they're aiming for. And then I suppose you have the other category of people who essentially want to create a job for themselves. So are not really looking at, you know, building a business that's going to be employing other people. They're more concerned with creating a job for themselves. So there's lots of different motivations. But the reality is, in my opinion, that, you know, obviously you get a bigger bang for your buck with the guy that's going to grow the really big business. But the guy that's starting up and creating a job for themselves is equally important, because that's somebody that's going to be contributing to the state, that there's a knock-on effect, you know, for people that become self-employed, even in terms of a social impact, becoming a role model for members in their family who may decide to, you know, be inspired by that and go in that direction themselves. So I think it's very important to encourage all types of entrepreneurship, and that the state should be coming in behind encouraging all types of entrepreneurship.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about all types of entrepreneurship, because we're seeing on Dragon's Den, they've got, of course, Junior Dragon's Den, and from a very young age now, even in school, entrepreneurship is something that's been encouraged throughout the schooling program, which is fantastic. You touched on it there a while back, business plans, and I myself went to youth for assistance back last year, and that was fantastic. And I think it took me 8 or 9 days to sit down and do a very detailed business plan, which was fantastic because it really got to the nuts and bolts of the business, and I knew exactly where I was going. What is one of the first steps with the business plans when people come to you with a business? I mean, it must be one of the first items that you point them in the direction.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose one of the reasons that we would talk to people about business plans is because it's a structured way of evaluating their business concept. It's asking them the questions that they need to ask themselves. So the first step is kind of almost going through those questions, what's in the content of a business plan, and suddenly make you start thinking about, well, have I really thought about who my customers are, who they're buying from at the moment, why they would buy from me? Excuse me. Have I really thought about how can I operate this business? Where am I going to locate it? How am I going to get my product or service in front of my customers? You know, these are the kind of questions that when you work through a structured business plan, it makes you think about these things.
Yeah.
If you don't have solid, credible answers to those questions, you really need to go back and find them.
Yeah.
Because your business plan is basically 3 sections. You've got marketing, operations, and finance. And they all need to make sense and fit together. So if you're very weak on your marketing side, you're not sure of the size of the market, you're not sure how you're going to get your product or service in front of the customer, you're not sure what the level of demand is going to be, you're not sure who's out there competing against you, you know, you're not sure how you're going to convince people to buy it, you're not sure how you're going to price it, how on earth are you then going to develop your financial projections and work out how much money you need to start the business and to keep the business going for the first year and 2 years when you're trying to gain sales revenues? It has to make sense and it has to fit together.
It's crucial, and one thing I learned from going to you guys was it really is a live document. It's something that will always change, and you have to keep it up to date so that you know your business inside out. The training, I did a course through yourself, Start Your Own Business, and it was fantastic. It was an evening course for 10 or 11 weeks, and the training was amazing, and that also gave more clarity around the business. How important is the training aspect that you provide in the County Enterprise Board?
I think that it is very important. I mean, look, you know, for a business, you know, we would say to them, okay, do you want to come in and talk to somebody? And we do this confidential, free one-to-one business advice clinics where you can come in and discuss your business at any stage, whether you're starting or whether you're already working the business. But we would also suggest, I mean, we run a seminar called the Investigating Your Business Idea. It's a half-day workshop. We run it every couple of months. that is a great one for a very early concept stage person to do, because it sort of makes them think about the whole market research aspect, whether there's intellectual property and what they're trying to do. It's very much the starting block, and it's, can I actually is this idea something that can be commercialized, and trying to help them think that through. The Start Your Own Business course training is very important, because that then takes you through almost the building blocks of the business plan. And over a 10-week period, you have the support not only of the trainer, but also of your peers in the room who are all starting businesses as well. And networking with other people, other like-minded people, is really very important for entrepreneurs at every stage.
Yeah.
You know, you get ideas from them, you get encouragement from them, you get motivated by them at the early stage, and then as you're moving forward with your business, there are lots of opportunities, both in relation to sales, but also just in relation to making contacts, to whether it's gaining new suppliers, or it's not always about sales, the whole networking aspect, you know. So the training is very important, and we do a lot of training for startups. We also do a lot of business skills training, and you can never stop learning, and there's something new all of the time. And I suppose in particular in the world we live in now, while your accountancy mightn't change very much, so you can do your bookkeeping course and get a better understanding of bookkeeping, even if you're outsourcing it, it's a good idea that you know the basics. So, you know, you can actually keep an eye on your accountant and understand what you're being told. But when it comes to technology, that is changing so fast. There's no way that a course that you did in, you know, promoting your website 3 years ago is good enough. You have to do that all the time. That changes all the time. Methods of search engine optimization, different uses of social media to promote your business, this is changing all of the time. So we would provide very heavily subsidized short courses across a whole range of relevant business topics that are suitable for people at the early stage and at the later stages. So
brilliant. On your website, it's full of information. It's a one-stop shop for business owners, and I think it's fantastic. It's everything from financing to training to events. How's that kept updated? Because your social media campaign is fantastic. How do you keep that so current for other business owners listening today?
Right, okay. Well, I can't take credit for that. We actually, one of the members of staff that we have, Catherine Howard, our business advisor, she would be in charge of updating the Facebook page and doing all of the work on the Facebook page and the blog and so forth. Our website itself is done by various members of staff in-house in terms of, I suppose what I would say is, you know, in terms of advising another business owner in this area, the key is when you're getting your website designed, make sure that it's a content management system that's open source, that you can actually manage yourself. So you're not having to pay your web designer every single time you want to change something. Also, get people to look at it who've never seen it before on a regular basis. Because you would be amazed how you think your website is just brilliant and it says exactly what you want it to say. In the eyes of someone who doesn't know your business and has never seen your website before, they could say to you, well, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand what that means. I didn't get that that's what you were doing with your business. So, you know, keep refreshing it, but don't totally rely on yourself to understand how to refresh it. You need fresh eyes looking at it. In terms of all of the social media stuff, you know, I'm a bit of a technophobe in that area myself. It is effective, okay, but you need to decide what's most appropriate for your business. So if you are selling to other businesses, Facebook and putting an awful lot of time into Facebook may not actually give you much bang for your buck, because that may be more appropriate if you're selling to consumers, if it's a consumer product kind of thing. LinkedIn is very popular. That's more a way of raising your profile and accessing networks. Again, it's almost more of a networking tool, you know, for businesses. So I think you have to look at what's appropriate for your business and how much time you can actually afford to put into it, and then prioritize which pieces are most important.
Yeah, because I think that's interesting, because business owners now really can get caught up in parts of their business that actually isn't making them any money whatsoever. So it's really important that you pointed that out. Just before you go, I just want to ask you one question. Is there any one particular course, and I think you've actually covered it, that you would advise a startup or a business owner to look at? And you talked about the concept course that did sound very interesting.
Well, that is a very early stage one. That is investigating a business idea, and it's just giving you the tools to maybe go away and do some preliminary market research. I mean, one of the biggest issues that we see with startups is that they really haven't done enough research. You know, that sometimes people, you know, they have a great idea and they're passionate about it, and that's fantastic, and you need that passion, because it's what's going to get you past all of the terrible things that are going to happen along the way to realizing it. But it's not enough. Just because you're passionate about the idea doesn't actually mean that somebody else is going to put their hand in their pocket and pay you for it. Okay. So that initial market research before you start investing a huge amount of money in your business is so important. So yeah, that seminar helps a lot. The Starting a Business course obviously is very helpful, and I would also suggest that they look at the one-to-one business clinics, you know, because nothing like being able to talk face-to-face with somebody. Regardless of all the technology in the world, we're still human beings. And being able to actually sit down face-to-face with someone and communicate about your business and get feedback, I think is very helpful.
And I agree, because my one-to-one clinic here was fantastic as well. Sheelagh, thank you very much for speaking to us today. Thank you.
Thank you.